I'm looking for a brighter day.
Hello, and welcome to The Phenomenal Show. I am your host, Joshua Harrell, and I am so happy that you have tuned in today. You know, we're on a mission to awaken that phenomenal force inside all of us, and in today's episode, we're going to talk about eliminating your fear of failure so you can soar to greater success. Now, last time we were together, we talked about self-sabotage. So you have some understanding of ways in which you sabotage your efforts. When you're uncomfortable with the idea of being successful, you're getting in your own way. That discomfort is the result of fear. The most common fear in those that want to be more successful is the fear of failure. Fear of failure can alter every choice we make. This fear can be helpful. Some of us are able to use the fear of failure as motivation to do our best work. However, most of us are influenced by this fear in a negative way. We often change our plans altogether and find an alternative that feels safer. This is a sure way to limit your results and experience feelings of regret. So let's put those fears behind us, of those fears of failure behind us. So first, understand that failure is a part of the process. You're very lucky if you figure out the right way to do something with your first effort. Short-term failure is much, much more common. Anytime you want to accomplish something significant, you can expect failures to be part of the process. Keep improving your process until you are successful. Realize that failure is only a temporary condition. A single failure isn't a permanent condition. Failure is like a rainy day. Sunny days are always going to show up again. Find something meaningful. With enough motivation, fear isn't even an issue. For example, if you're feeling overly insecure at work, maybe you aren't working in the right field or with the right team or with the right company for you. When you have enough passion for something, fear is much easier to overcome. And you got to remember, failure isn't personal. Failing only means that your approach wasn't the best option. It doesn't say anything about you as a person. Even the most talented people deal with failure on a regular basis. A wrong choice isn't indicative of a fatal flaw. And you know what? We always need to stay present. You can't worry if your mind isn't living in the future. It's only when you project a negative outcome that you become all anxious inside. Reality is happening right now. The future is only a daydream. If you're going to think about the future, imagine success, phenomenal success. At this very second, you're okay. And you know what? You'll be okay in the next second too. Learn to enjoy fear. If your life isn't in danger, being afraid is a sign that you're doing something new. Only new behaviors will change your life. No one wants to live the same day over and over and over again. That uncomfortable feeling inside is a sign that something amazing might happen. And you know what? Minimize fear by taking action. The people that are most afraid tend to be the most paralyzed, but they didn't start out that way. You weren't born afraid of the things that you fear today, but by giving in to fear, you teach your brain that fear is an effective way to control your behavior. It will continue ratcheting up the fear because it knows it works. Ignoring fear and taking action has the opposite effect. You can teach yourself that fear doesn't impact your behavior. In time, the amount of fear you feel will decrease. Look ahead. If you continue to allow fear to dictate your behavior, what will your life look like in 20 years? How would your life be different if fear didn't control your actions? Would you rather be a little uncomfortable now or be filled with regret for the rest of your life? View failure as an opportunity to learn. Failure might provide a small sting, but the information you gain is invaluable. A few small improvements are often enough to turn a failure into a success. Look for the lesson and apply it to your next attempt. Has the fear of failure had a negative impact on your life? Dealing with the fear of failure is something everyone faces. Avoid allowing fear to dictate and limit your life. Avoid it like the plague. You just got to run from it. Remember that the fear is self-created. You can choose to have an attitude that supports your success or not. Now, let's do the work. Embrace your many failures. Look back at every failure you've accomplished in your life. That's right, accomplished. Look at each of those failures and decide what you could have learned from each of them. How could you have applied them going forward from that point? Can you see how much you're able to learn from your failures if you embrace them? So that's your homework for today's show. But I also wanted to leave you with an affirmation. You know, I've been using affirmations in a few of these shows, and you guys have given me some great feedback on it. So I'm going to keep on bringing them to you. I'm glad that they're helpful, and I hope that you're writing your own. But let me give you this one. My failures are just stepping stones to my success. Like everyone, I make mistakes and experience failures. However, I embrace these experiences because they help me get closer to my goals and achieve success. My past mistakes guide me without defining me. I understand that mistakes are the bridge between inexperience and wisdom. Mistakes are the portals to my discoveries. I am getting to know myself through my mistakes. I know that as long as I am making errors, I am out in the world contributing. My missteps are proof that I am putting forth effort and trying. The mistakes I make today are my lessons for tomorrow. I reflect on my errors in order to avoid repeating them in the future. I learn more through my failures than through my simple successes, since they are gained without a challenge. Having faith in myself and in my abilities is a reward to my soul. I can only reward myself if I look beyond my mistakes. I can only move forward once I look beyond my failures. To remain positive, I view mistakes as only small setbacks. I understand that it is human nature to make mistakes. I achieve success with the knowledge that I gain from my failures. Today, I remind myself that the biggest blunder I can ever make is letting fear of a mistake stop me. Experience is the name I choose to give my mistakes. My failures are just stepping stones on my road to success. I hope you like that one. And for your journal, here's some journal prompts. How can I use failures in a positive way? What lessons have I learned from my mistakes? What can I do daily to make my mistakes useful? Now, I find these self-reflection points as great journal prompts. You can just ponder them while you listen to the show in the car, or you can use them in your journal. But really reflect on those questions and see what bubbles up from you. I've often find that the first answers that you start to hear from yourself, those are the truest, most honest, and sometimes most painful. But when you have that connection to yourself, man, oh man, the things that you can accomplish. Well, that is it for today's show. Again, I am so glad that you joined me. And if you love the show, please subscribe. Please rate the show wherever you listen to the podcast. And you know what? Join the Phenomenal Show on Facebook. That's where you're going to get some content that I talk about in the show and just some extra goodies and things, throughout the week. So you definitely want to follow the show on Facebook. Just search The Phenomenal Show and you will find it. And you know what? If you want to get more information on me and some of the other things that I am doing out in the world, you can always come to my website, joshuaharrell.com. I'd love to have you there. Maybe join my newsletter while you're there. I know I just gave you a lot of things to do. There's always so many things to do, right? Anyway, I want to thank you for joining the show. It's nothing without you. So I am very, very happy that you have joined. And until next time, take care of yourself.
I'm looking for a better place, somewhere safe where I can get away. Gonna find myself a brighter day. I'm looking for, spread my wings and fly away.